Now you know that UFOs exist. But what do the beings piloting them look like? Why are they here? All this and more in this episode of Unearthly. There are said to be several alien races on Earth. Paul Hellyer, the former Minister of Defense of Canada, has been very outspoken about the alien presence and has spoken specifically about 4 of the many alien races on Earth today. But most of what we know about these beings comes from alien abductees or people who claim to have been abducted by aliens. Few people took alien abductees seriously, dismissing them as attention seekers. But with UFOs gaining legitimacy, it's time to see abductions in a new light. In the general public, the 2 main types of people who've had interactions with aliens can be classified as either abductees or contactees. Abductees don't seem to have a choice in the matter, but some of them look upon these aliens favorably. Contactees say they have been contacted by benevolent aliens, sometimes with messages for humans. Of these two, abductions have been studied more closely, and the striking parallels between these cases from every continent on Earth shows that something is definitely going on. And though the idea of alien abduction sounds outlandish, it is backed by some highly credible researchers. John Mack was a professor at Harvard and a Pulitzer Prize winner, and he conducted groundbreaking research on alien abductions in his book, Abduction: Human Encounters with Aliens. These are the alien races that are usually seen in abductions, the short greys. With their huge eyes and large head, these are the face of aliens on Earth, instantly recognizable. Known by the color of their skin suits, which are silvery grey, they stand between 3 to 4 feet tall and have 3 fingers. And within the short greys, there seem to be a few different races with different features. For example, some with more pronounced noses, etc. The greys are believed to be biological robots or droids and seem to have been engineered by an other superior alien race to serve them as workers. Some people believe that they are not droids, but beings that propagate themselves by cloning. Many abductees claim they have witnessed the greys walking right through solid walls into their bedrooms. Mostly, the greys simply appear in their bedrooms at night. If true, this could mean that the greys are interdimensional or able to manipulate matter in ways that are not known to us. The greys are said to be a collective consciousness, like many of the alien races on Earth, which means they have a hive mind like bees and ants. This is very different from how humans communicate and function. There is less individuality in a hive-minded society. The interests of the group take precedence over the interests of the individual. Humans, on the other hand, are a species that have very high free will, and though this is good in many ways, it is also leading Earth on a downward spiral. There are a lot of theories as to why the greys are on Earth and why they do abductions. It is said that they are a dying race and have only managed to keep themselves alive by cloning. As time passed, the cloned beings became successively weaker and they realized they needed the DNA of another species to keep their race alive, and they chose us, humans, which is why they are said to be interested in obtaining genetic material from humans. The greys are the entities whose bodies are said to have been recovered in the famous UFO crash at Roswell, New Mexico. Even the very first case of alien abduction in modern times, the Betty and Barney Hill case, involved these creatures. The tall greys. These entities are taller versions of the small greys, standing around 6 feet tall. They are usually seen in crafts. They are not drones or biological androids, unlike the small greys, and despite their frail looks, they possess superhuman strength. They are also known as Zeta Reticulans, as they are believed to be originally from that part of our galaxy. They take over from the small greys onboard crafts and conduct various tests on abductees. They tend to perform physical procedures with the aim of producing a hybrid human-alien race to replace their dying race. The memories of these scary experiences are blocked and often replaced with benign but false memories known as screen memories. The Mantids. As the name implies, they look very similar to praying mantises, but are freakishly scary and large. They're like giant praying mantises at over 7 feet tall and are said to have a V-shaped face, large insect-like eyes, and several joints on their arms and legs, just like insects. They are said to belong to a civilization that's millions of years older than our human race, and as a result, they are so highly advanced that their technology is like magic to us. They are believed to be a collective consciousness, just like the Greys. They are very rarely seen on the crafts and take on a supervisory role when they make an appearance, usually overseeing the small and tall Greys. They are believed to be extremely powerful healers, and there have been a few reports of them healing abductees who were suffering from deadly, incurable diseases. The Mantids are said to communicate with other Mantids through a series of clicking sounds. They are experts in genetics and bioengineering and working with the DNA of different beings. The Nordics. With their blonde hair, blue eyes, and earthly features, the Nordics look exactly human. They are said to be a very benevolent race and watch over humanity. They are also known as the Pleiadians as they come from the Pleiades star cluster. Another name for them is Pleiaren. Both abductees and contactees speak of having seen or interacted with the Nordics. The legends of several Native American tribes, such as the Cherokee, the Lakota, etc., speak of a race of beings called the Star People who bear a striking resemblance to the Nordics and claim that these beings have been visiting them since antiquity. The Hopi Indians say their ancestors came from the Pleiades and that when they die, their spirit returns to the Pleiades. Similarly, the Lakota Indians talk about how the Vanagi, or the spirits of deceased human beings, travel through the Milky Way to return to the star whereupon they originated. The Tall Whites. Many people think the Nordics and the Tall Whites are the same, but they're different races. They are described as having chalky white skin with platinum blonde hair, eyes double the size of human eyes, and are aptly named as they can grow up to 9.5 feet tall. They also tend to have a weaker skeletal system and one more growth spurt in adulthood and live up to 700 human years. They apparently use Earth as a rest stop. The Tall Whites have never been seen on board crafts and do not seem to be involved in the abduction process. Everything we know about the Tall Whites comes from only one person. Also, beings similar to the Tall Whites have been seen near Mount Shasta. Whether these are the same entities or not is unknown. The Arcturians. Edgar Cayce considered the Arcturians the most advanced alien civilization in the galaxy. These entities hail from the Arcturus star system, and it is due to their presence that Earth is protected from the more hostile alien races. They are of a very high vibrational level, being fifth dimensional entities, and in turn are led by a race of beings that belong to an even higher dimension, namely 11th dimensional beings. They are a blue-skinned race with elongated heads and large almond eyes and are an average of 5 feet tall. Like many of the other alien races, they are telepathic and are said to have the ability to move physical objects using the power of their mind alone. The Reptilians. This race was created by the Alpha Draconians, giant lizard-like aliens who visited the Earth long ago. They created smaller versions of themselves with human DNA spliced in and left them on Earth thousands of years ago, and these are believed to be the reptilian races on Earth. Legends of bipedal, serpentine, lizard races are present in every single culture of the world, and it is possible that the race of these did actually exist on the surface of the Earth once. These ancient statues from Iraq give us a lot to ponder about. They are very rare to see and apparently frightening to look at. They are 7 feet tall, bipedal creatures with crocodile faces and scaly skin. These entities have been seen morphing into human form and have made it clear that they're not here to be our friends. They look down on us and think the Earth belongs to them. They have bases in caves and tunnel systems deep in the Earth. According to Indian mythology, the most vicious reptilian races were expelled to the underworld. Alpha Draconians. An extremely aggressive warrior species, they are galactic superpowers that have seized thousands of planets with less evolved beings. Their imperial agenda has no limits. Though they are based in numerous colonies across Alpha Draconis, the galaxy and planet from which they actually originated remains a mystery. They can grow up to a whopping 25 feet tall with a muscular body and superior intelligence. They can live to several thousand years. To make it worse, they're actually masters of the astral world and can switch between dimensions easily. Once again, there's only one source of information about this race, a contactee named Alex Collier. Whereas the Nordics, Reptilians, Mantids, and the small and tall greys have been encountered by hundreds of individual abductees, information about the Draconians and the tall whites comes from only one source each, Alex Collier and Charles Hall, respectively. The atom bomb over Hiroshima and Nagasaki was the last straw for the alien races. Many cultures speak about an other dimension called the astral dimension that's parallel to our physical dimension. At night when we sleep, our astral body leaves the physical body and travels in the astral realm. Lots of people even do this astral projection consciously, and a few have encountered some of these beings in the astral world. That's because many of these beings are also interdimensional beings living in the astral and other parallel dimensions. According to yoga, the astral dimension is the one that's right next to our physical one and is subtler and finer than the physical dimension. Some contactees have been told that the atom bomb ripped a small tear in the very fabric of the astral dimension. As a result of this, and very concerned by the bomb's devastation, the aliens began monitoring our nuclear facilities. That's one reason why UFO sightings took off after the atom bomb. For decades, a few contactees have been talking about the existence of a galactic federation comprised of several alien races like the Pleiadians and the Andromedans to protect human interests. But no one took them seriously until former Israeli space chief Haim Eshed dropped a bombshell. A galactic federation of aliens actually exists and is in contact with the US. According to him, the unidentified flying objects have asked not to publish that they're here, humanity is not ready yet. And that humans need to evolve and reach a stage where we will understand what space and spaceships are. Eshed was speaking to Israeli newspaper Yediot Aharonot in December 2020. Haim Eshed was the director of Israel's space program for almost 30 years and is credited as the father of Israel's space program. He directed the launch of 20 Israeli satellites into space. He served in the Israeli military intelligence as a brigadier. He said he spoke out only in 2020 as he felt attitudes had changed and that people are more receptive to these things now. If I had come up with what I'm saying 5 years ago, I would have been hospitalized, he told Yediot newspaper. And he's not the only high-profile person talking about this. Another high-profile octogenarian who's come forward saying aliens are real is the former Chief of Defense of Canada, Paul Hellyer. In a 2014 interview with the Russian Times, he said 82 different alien races exist, but he spoke about 4 specific alien races, including the Nordics, the tall whites, and the greys. He says the Nordics look just like modern-day people from Denmark with blue eyes and blonde hair, and mentions beings from the star systems of the Pleiades and Zeta Reticulus. Paul Hellyer also says the different alien races may be interacting among themselves. I suspect they are because there is what is called a federation of these people and they have rules. For example, one of these rules is that they don't interfere in our affairs unless invited to. As mentioned before, we differ from most alien species in a fundamental, non-physical way. We are not hive-minded, but we have free will. One of the rules of the Galactic Federation is to respect human free will. Therefore, they will not meddle in human affairs or even in any crisis unless the very survival of the human race is threatened or if humans are coming close to destroying the planet. That's the reason why a lot of UFOs keep a watchful eye on nuclear activity on Earth. But what contactees have spoken about is not just the Galactic Federation, it is called the Galactic Federation of Light. Apparently, the term is used to refer to the human soul. Another thing is that according to Vedic cosmology, we are moving from Kali Yuga to Satya Yuga or the Golden Age. Kali Yuga is a dark age when human ignorance is maximum. Our third eye is completely shut down, we lose our connection with nature, and we lose the awareness of our place amidst a universe teeming with life. As we're moving towards Satya Yuga now, this awareness will slowly return. Many hidden truths and knowledge will begin to re-emerge. For example, the true history of the human race, including ancient civilizations that were highly advanced, plus the existence of other dimensions, the nature of consciousness, etc. Perhaps this is what advanced races are waiting for too, before they can initiate contact. Thanks for watching and please subscribe if you found this video informative.